when you have dreads, you get discriminated.
You don't judge a man by his looks.
When you see this, you know it's not conformity following right behind.
So we want to show the world, like, this is not like criminals that carry this.
Welcome to the 77%. My name is Fatu Elika Muloshi, and yes, you guessed right, we are here at the Summerjam Festival. It's that time of the year again where over 20,000 people gather here at the Folinga Z, which is actually a lake in Cologne, for a 3-day camping festival. Welcome to Summerjam! Well, here at the Summerjam, people are free to wear all kinds of hairstyles. And we've seen Africans in all different hairstyles. We've seen them in their locks, we've seen them in braids, we've seen them in different kinds of styles. But we've seen that young people are often stereotyped, sometimes even marginalized for the kind of hair that they wear. Some are even denied their rights as a result of their hair. What's the biggest misconception that people have of those with locked hair?
I did realize when I had my locks hanging, I would go into the interview room and it wouldn't last more than 3 minutes. When the other person was there for like 10 minutes, right? So I just thought, let me improvise. So I started getting my hair done up, you know, so that we can look, professional.
I don't blame all these people that see things that way. Some act is an act of ignorance because you don't know about it. You're not educated about it. You know, you don't judge a man by his looks. You know, first off, that is total failure.
It's about time we stop associating Locs with rascal, radicals, you know, like it can be called Locs, dreads. You don't have to be criminal to have Locs on. You just want to connect with more of your hair. It's like it's part of us.
For me, it kind of almost feel like my power. I feel like when it was shorter, I didn't really understand as much, but as it grows and it's almost like, yeah, if something happened to it right now, it would have probably more than likely feel away. When you see this, you know it's not conformity following right behind.
Most of the times, like, when you have dreads, you get discriminated, you know, and all of that. So we want to show the world, like, this is not like criminals that carry this. You know, we have diplomats that carry this. We have superstars that carry this. Ambassadors that carry this. So it's an identity for us to show the world that dreadlocks is not for criminals. It's not for bad people. I mean, it's actually just, you know, showing who you are and where you're from.
So today we're asking, what does it mean to live in a society that often marginalizes or even stereotypes you based on their hair? We are already inside. You can see it for yourself. The stage is right behind me, and that is where everything happens. And so we cannot come here without talking to some of the familiar faces of the program. And one of them is Andrew Murphy, commonly known as Mr. Summerjam. He is one of the main hosts of this program. He's been the host actually for years now. And we want to talk to him about hair because he's got very long locks. You've got your dreads. It's so long. What does your locks mean to you?
It means me, you know, because I think if you have hair like this and you walk around like this, you have to have a certain amount of pride. If you don't have a certain amount of pride in yourself, then nobody will have pride within you, you know.
This strong self-esteem?
Yeah, you have to have that.
My God, I've been eyeing these covers for a while now. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I am actually from the Gambia, and cowries are very important to us. You know, it's the River Gambia, and you know, when you are by the river, these are things that you see.
I think that's why it's really important for us as well to sell these type of things. For example, this brand is called Afro Sasa Brass, and we sell these cowrie shells because it does symbolize wealth and use. It was used in Africa before to
exchanged for money. When money wasn't existing at the time, we used carriage shells to exchange that. So it was also used for protection when wars happened. So it was either money or protection that was mostly used for. And that's why we are really happy we can sell them now.
And even for women, it shows that you've come of age as well when you have them on at some point. And I'm wondering, can I use it for decoration, for example, in my hair? Because I've seen people put them in their strands.
A lot of people, you can use it for different types of things. For example, you can use it as earrings, you can use it for your hair. I can even show it to you right now.
Oh yeah, show me. I want to see that. I wish I had more in my head.
Yeah, you can put like as a whole strand. That's also possible. So let me just try and put it in.
I see people do it all the time, and it's so beautiful. And the whole time I was thinking, can I do that too?
Yeah, you can. That's definitely possible. Anyone that chooses to do it can do it.
Oh my God.
That's not a problem at all.
Oh yeah.
And then most people do it as like a whole strand.
Yes.
Or some people like to carry it as like earrings or even as necklaces.
You know our hair. How do I look? Gorgeous. Yeah. Thank you so much. You know, our hair means different things. A lot, yes. Different things to different people. And that is why at this point, I even want us to look at that a little bit more as we're talking about hair. Because, for example, people face a lot of discrimination, especially kids in countries like Kenya, Malawi, Ghana, South Africa, on the basis of their hair. So at the Summerjam, I want to ask those young people, how does it feel living with your natural hair? And how do they cope with the stereotypes that they face on a daily basis? I want to start with you, Bibi. You look so beautiful. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Of course, you have your locks. It's growing. For how long have you had this?
Now for 1 year.
Like, what's your journey with your hair been like?
Quite easy because like I have like 4C hair, so it's easy to lock and it went well, like quite easy. Yes.
Steph, what's your journey with your hair been like? Do you also look forward to having it locked or?
Not really. At the moment, not. I want to keep my natural hair as much as possible, but it is like easier when I like braid my hair and like cornrow it down because it's nicer. It's more presentable from like for the people. You know, I can always like put it. I look nice. Fertig.
Exactly. He's from Seychelles, by the way. Yeah. So pretty. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can definitely.
I mean, Efia, you are of Ghanaian heritage as well, and your locks is really growing. How long have you had this, and what's your experience with your hair been like?
I think I've been growing them for 4 years, but I had an afro before that. And the thing is, I always said to myself, oh, I will never get dreadlocks, because I just thought it was too permanent. But then one day, just something switched. I think it was like a dream. And I was like, I will have locks because it's, I just see it for myself. And I thought it would be easier. It's not necessarily easier, but it's different. And I'm very happy I made a choice because like it feels like I look like myself now.
Wow, I think that is powerful. And for you, Grant, what does it mean to have your hair like this?
I feel like...
From Jamaica, you said?
Yes, Jamaica.
We've got the right person on this panel as well. Talk to me about that.
I've had my locks for about 4 years now. I remember when I first started, it was quite a struggle. My hair is quite a soft texture, so it did take time for it to form, but I'm glad that I've kept with it. And yeah, I just feel free with it. I think a lot of people are more accepting of locks now, which is a good thing.
I mean, for you, Bibi, tell me a little bit more about your experience. How do you get treated with your hair? How do people approach you? How do they look at you?
For example, like I'm Congolese, but I'm also like from a different church. Like our women are not allowed to wear like fake hair or plastic hair, so they wear like locks, so they can still have like hair done. So like my mother was like, oh, that's so nice. Like finally, you're not wearing braids. At work, it's like a little bit different because they know me like with braids, like with colorful braids. They were like, oh, so you are going to keep it that? Because I'm working in a youth welfare center, so it's open. But like when I talk like to my clients' parents or like to my bosses, they were like, okay, if you get your hair constantly done, it looks professional. But if it grows out, it can look unprofessional.
No, wait. Talk to me about that a little bit. How does that make you feel when someone says when your hair grows out a little bit longer, you look a bit unprofessional?
I feel like, for me, I grew up in Germany. I know like they think like locks are like a little bit unprofessional. I'm trying to like teach them like, no, it's not unprofessional. My hair is just growing like if white people just color their hair and the color goes out, you will not say like it's unprofessional. So like with mine, it's not unprofessional.
Yeah. Ooh, wow, that's interesting. Steph, you were clocking to that. Tell me why.
No, because I mean, what Bibi said exactly. It's like, you know, whenever we come to a workplace and like we hear our hair is we're just being ourselves, and like the people are just saying like, oh no, this is not professional enough, you know? And no, we need to be able to like be ourselves at our workplace and just be able to express ourselves through our hair. That's all.
That no one should be able to tell you whether your hair is unprofessional or not.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let me come to you, Ifya. Tell me, how do you think people with dreads or locks have been treated in your perspective as well? They've talked about the kind of things they've experienced professionally. What is it like for you?
I think there's so many different experiences, right? I know discrimination happens because of dreadlocks. This is something I was concerned about when I started it, but I pushed through and did it anyway. And interestingly enough, I feel like I get less not harassment, but a lot less people annoying me now compared to when I had an afro. When I had an afro, all the time people tried to come up, touch my head and touch my hair. And now it's like, it's calmed down a lot. Like, I feel like people maybe are confused by locks at this point. But also what's been nice is like young people, like maybe like 14, 15, are like, oh, your hair's so cool. And that's like all ethnicities. So it's like, it's this weird thing of like, on the one hand, I don't see my hair on like fashion magazines, that kind of thing. But at the same time, I do feel like a lot of kindness, especially also from black people, of course.
Maybe it speaks to what Bibi was saying when someone said, oh, okay, we're trying to understand it now. I don't know, but what is it like? Of course, I know this is a different feeling in Jamaica. How are people perceived with their locks? What does the locks mean for people in Jamaica?
It's just I think it's of a culture of just a freeness. It gives strength as well. Yeah, you just feel like you're able to embrace your culture a lot more.
And is it about style as well, or is there more to it? It's when people have their locks on, it's often associated with Rastafarian culture. Can it go outside of that? Could there be more reason why someone would want to have their hair like that?
For myself, say for instance, when I wanted to start growing locks, I just wanted a new style. And as I continued growing, you kind of learn different things about locks, how to maintain it. You learn so much new things about your hair. And I think that boils down with the Rastafarians as well. They obviously grow it for a particular reason. But yeah, like a lot of people are growing locks. Black people, white people are growing locks. It's a popular thing, to be fair.
Yeah. He said white people are also having their locks on. Yeah. Do you think it's what do you think that is? A lot of people would say this is cultural appropriation.
It is.
Oh!
Because it is.
Okay.
Okay, the thing is, for me, like if you're a white person and you're dating a black person or someone, in the Rastafarian community, maybe you are allowed to. I think you have the pass because you're in the culture. Someone did it for you. You are supporting someone. You are supporting someone black. But if you're not, no, cut your hair.
What does it take for you?
For me, like, I'm not a friend of white people wearing locks, because I think like if you are in love with the culture, if you understand the culture, and if you understand the suffering that black people and like everybody that had locks went through, you would understand like it's not your place to wear it, because like you would never feel the same suffering as the same person. Because like I know a lot of like I have co-workers who wear locks that didn't get the same comments that I get. Like for them it's like hippie and all.
What kind of people are they? Where are they from?
Like they're German. They're like, for them it's like it's a lifestyle, it's cool, it's like hippie and it's freedom. But for us it's like for me, yeah. So
I mean, you said when you had your dreads, your locks on, you felt more you? What does it mean for you? We talked about lifestyle, we talked about heritage. For you, what does it signify?
I don't know, like, one day I looked in the mirror and I was like, I finally look like myself, and it's hard to put it into words. Like, I just feel more relaxed, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I go through the world, I can just be like, oh, okay. Even if life is difficult, I can just put my hair up and it's fine. Like, I feel like it took some time to get to this place, and maybe I'll change my hair again in the future, but it just feels like it fits the lifestyle that I'm
living. Right?
Yeah.
And what does it take to grow these long locks? Is it possible to grow them longer?
Yeah, so basically, because I already started with fairly long hair with an afro, I had an advantage and my hair was up to here. And then I noticed that the less I do, the better. That was during the pandemic. I just didn't put a lot of things into my hair. I just let it grow, and that helped it grow. By not putting 20,000 oils, getting different hair products, I just did the least possible, and it just grows. Like, basically, I mind my business and my hair minds its business, and then we're happy.
I love that. That's on, period. So people are grooving at the Summerjam grounds. You can already see the color, the energy, the vibe is still ongoing. But the truth is that people in Kenya, for example, those with their locked hair, are often treated with suspicion because it is often associated with defiance. But the history about locks go way back, and my colleague Edith Kimani tells us more on that.
In Africa, Ethiopian Coptic priests reportedly wore their hair locked as early as in the 5th century. By 3000 BC, there was evidence of people in the Sahara with locks. Archaeologists have even found Egyptian mummies buried with locked wigs. And it wasn't just Africa. In India, locks were linked to Hindu holy men, including the god Shiva. In Mexico, Mesoamerican people wore locks from the 14th century. Celtic tribes, Viking warriors, and Maori fighters in New Zealand are just a few other examples of people who wore locks. But it wasn't until the 1950s that locks took their place in Kenya's history. A group of guerrilla fighters pushing for the country's independence emerged from the forest with their hair matted into freely formed locks. The Mau Mau became synonymous with locks. Locks became defiance. Defiance became a dreaded crime. In post-colonial Kenya, locks would re-emerge, this time as a symbol against an oppressive regime. In the 1980s, activist Koigi Wawamwere grew out his hair while in detention after he was denied a comb. The government tried to shave him. He refused. He took them to court and won.
In Kenya particularly, dreadlocks were a source of dread.
Media mogul Eugene Bugwe explains.
This was a mark of identity for them. And depending on which spectrum your parents were on, whether the collaborators or the fighters, it ended up being demonized. And I imagine also because of Christianity and stuff. And so I feel like a lot of our generation of our parents are not over that.
Eugene locked his hair more than a decade ago. Since then, he's enjoyed an evolving relationship with his locks. As a successful founder and CEO, he is free to wear his hair as he chooses. However, while his choice of locks is praised as being original or edgy, the same hairstyle is regarded with suspicion on artists or less established people. In Kenya, locks have become a visual marker through which class and respectability are interpreted. Eugene knows this and admits it informs some of his hang-ups.
I'm not comfortable with my hair open. I don't know, it always feels untidy, uncomfortable. I barely ever have it down, which I think has contributed also to me being able to get ahead corporate-wise despite them, which is a problem in itself, because what is wrong with African hair flinging out and being let loose?
Honestly, I just wish that daily life can be like this, where people can just be free to express themselves without any form of restrictions. Because unlike what we see here in Kenya, the police have institutionalized the prejudices against people with locks, and it goes even further into schools, where in Ghana, for example, people have used their own biases to formalize stereotypes that reinforce prejudices against people with locks, and kids in particular have suffered because of this. So let's go to Ghana to see what is being done to change these perceptions.
For some Ghanaians, dreadlocks are more than a hairstyle. They can be a part of a person's culture or religion. So why are they still controversial?
It is the abuse of it. When you open the space, the abuse of it, that is major reason why really talk about students not wearing dreadlocks. Right. It's how the abuse of it. The society, in a way, associates radicalism and the rest with those kind of Rasta hair.
That's where the debate gets interesting. Should a student's hairstyle have anything to do with the ability to learn? Does wearing dreadlocks affect academic performance?
I've not found any studies that directly links wearing of, in the context which we are speaking, yes, sure, dreadlocks to academic performance. There's no research that shows anything like that. Yeah. But of course, if you wear a long hair, a dreadlocks, for you to keep it well, you will have to invest time and resources into it. Unlike the low haircut where a student will just wake up, their colleagues may even help them in cutting their hair. With the dreadlocks, you need to give it a special attention.
If a student's hairstyle does not affect academic performance, why is the education system bent on policing hairstyles? Back to you, Fatu, at Summerjam.
You know, it's such a great feeling to see a festival that has been in existence for the past 40 years change perceptions and just celebrate diversity, which is why I really enjoyed that conversation I had with those school young people about what can change going forward and how can people continue celebrating their own natural hair without any restrictions. We talked about, of course, Rastafarian culture, African heritage, but again, going forward, how can people change their thinking? What's the one thing you want them to change about the way they see hair, but also locks?
A lot of people need to know that hair is more than just a look, especially for black people, and they need to educate themselves because, like, for other races, it's just like hair, but for us, it's not. And that is something that other races need to understand about us.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Just demystify it a little. When you say for us, the locks is not just hair, it tells a story. A little bit on that.
Yeah, because like there's so many people with locks. It's like it's something spiritual. It's something religious. Something the hairstyles like cornrows, it tells a story. Like for example, for us, like we put rice in our cornrows. Like it's like something spiritual. So it's not just a look. Like people just want to say like it's just a look. No, for you it's just a look. For us it's more because we have history that goes in deep, like with everything. Yeah, that's why.
And what about you, Steph?
Just to put up what Bibi said, like cornrows, like, you know, it was made like people to escape the fields, to escape their colonizers. So it was made in a map so that people are able to tell their ways to go out of the situation. And I think like people just need to understand, white people need to understand what it is before they start wearing it. That's all.
Do you think it can also be a form of solidarity when someone feels like they can do it as well, or you don't see it that way?
I mean, I'm all about supporting black businesses, but just people as white people need to like be able to have it mentally that, you know what, this is our culture, and they need to respect that.
This is a no-go territory. Okay, going forward, how do you think young people can change their perception towards hair, natural hair, but also locks as well?
I think young people just should have they're just able to like express themselves, like, you know, freely. Young people just need to express themselves freely. That's all.
We talked about the discrimination. We talked about the importance of embracing one's heritage and story. Going forward for you, how do you think this message can be cemented in our culture and in our society today?
If the more of us do it, the better. Like, I've definitely had relatives saying, oh, why are you doing this with your hair? And the key point is like you have to keep going and be the person that is different. So, for example, in your family or in your circle of friends, you kind of shine as an example, and then other people are like, let me also try it out. So I think it's just like living by example and then hoping that other people follow.
What is it for you, Grant? can we change that?
Don't listen to social media. Don't listen to social media. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we have it. I think it's very strong what we've been able to gather. It's about heritage, it's about culture, it's about pride. That was an interesting debate, and I really enjoyed that because I think it summarizes our conversation out very nicely. And at the end of the day, a big takeaway for me is that people should be able to live life for themselves, live life for you, and be intentional about how you want to do that. Not all hope is lost. In countries like Kenya, Malawi, and South Africa, people are taking this issue of hair to the courts and winning. The most important thing is that people need to respect the laws in place that ensure that people are not discriminated on the basis of their hair. And secondly, you, the 77%ers, wear your hair with pride, whether locked or natural. Just be yourself. We should all be able to live in harmony, and this generation can change that. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Let's continue conversations like this. I am Fatelika Moloshi from the Summerjam. Thank you so much for watching.